the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
National Security Council eyes aerial resupply mission in West Philippine Sea. Authorities arrest 2 NPA members in Tabuk, Kalinga. COMELEC plans small early voting for vulnerable voters in 2025 elections. DSWD aims to improve assistance to individuals in crisis situation services through partnership with 903 service providers. Good day everyone, as well to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo, Quezon City. Today is Wednesday, May 8, and we will bring you the latest news from armed forces and other information around the Philippines. I am Rofh Suzon for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for the brief overview of our stories, the Philippines is exploring aerial resupply missions to Filipino troops at Ayungin Shoal in the West Philippine Sea. National Security Council Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya said there will be adjustments to the government's resupply efforts to troops stationed at BRP Sierra Madre. According to Malaya, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered for certain adjustments. He added that there is available operational mix. Last week, the Philippines said the China Coast Guard water cannon and rammed vessels of the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources headed to Bajo de Masinloc, also known as Scarborough Shoal, who were assisting Filipino fishers in the area.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy reported a fleet of Chinese vessels observed in various parts of the West Philippine Sea. According to Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Roy Vincent Trinidad, based on their latest monitoring, a total of 107 Chinese vessels were counted in 7 areas of the West Philippine Sea from April 30 to May 6, 2024. He stated that most of these were spotted near Pag-asa Island, including 35 Chinese maritime militia vessels, 2 People's Liberation Army Navy vessels, and 1 Chinese Coast Guard vessel. Meanwhile, despite this, the Philippine Navy declared that no Chinese vessels were monitored around Parola and Licas Islands, which are still part of the West Philippine Sea.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
For more Balikatan updates, let us hear the details from Private Nesio regarding the Philippine and U.S. troops hold counter-landing live fire exercise in Lawag City, Ilocos Norte.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the United States Armed Forces successfully conducted counter-landing exercises at La Paz Sand Dunes in Lawag on May 6, 2024 as part of the ongoing exercise Balikatan 39, 2024. Counter-landing live-fire operations are strategic military activity where defensive forces are deployed to prevent hostile forces from invading and establishing themselves within the nation's borders. Focus on bolstering the Armed Forces of the Philippines' capabilities for external defense operations and maritime security awareness, the exercise showcased seamless coordination and synergy between United States and Philippine troops. The Armed Forces of the Philippines effectively utilized high-powered military assets, including the Atmos 155mm self-propelled howitzer, a 105mm howitzer from the Army Artillery Regiment Philippine Army, and 2 Philippine Marine Corps 105mm howitzers. In tandem, the United States Armed Forces deployed 2 U.S. howitzers, 5.56 caliber rifles, medium and heavy machine guns, 3 Javelin anti-tank missiles, and 3 multipurpose anti-armor anti-personnel weapon system, showcasing the joint forces' capability to neutralize armored threat effectively. Participating units, including the Philippine Army's 502nd Infantry Brigade, the Philippine Marine Corps 4th Marine Brigade, the U.S. Army 3 to 7 Field Artillery, and the U.S. Marine Corps 3rd Littoral Combat Team demonstrated their proficiency in maritime defense tactics during the activity. Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, Philippine Air Force, Acting Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and Lieutenant General Fernil G. Buca, Philippine Air Force, Commander of the Northern Luzon Command, along with other AFP key officials, attended the exercise. Their presence emphasized the importance of joint training initiatives in strengthening defense cooperation between the United States and the Philippines. The success of joint counter-landing exercises underscores the enduring partnership and commitment between both nations in addressing shared security challenges and promoting regional stability. Through collaborative efforts such as the Balikatan exercises, both nations continue to enhance their defense capabilities and interoperability for the common defense of shared interests. This is Meljo Inesio reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Private Nesho.
DWDD Armed Forces
Police
News.
operatives and intelligence agents successfully apprehended 2 members of the New People's Army at Purok 6, Bulanao in Tabuk, Kalinga. While the identities of the arrested suspects were not disclosed, Colonel Freddy Lasona, the Provincial Director of the Kalinga Provincial Police Office, confirmed that one is a 29-year-old woman and the other a 30-year-old man. The female suspect faces a warrant of arrest for murder, while the male suspect is wanted for multiple counts of frustrated murder and direct assault upon an agent of a person in authority. Both suspects believed to be affiliated with the Kilusang Larangang guerrilla of Babra Mountain Province and the Ilocos Sur were taken to the Kalinga Provincial Police Office for documentation.
DWDD Armed Forces
In other news, 6 members of the New People's Army have voluntarily abandoned the communist terrorist groups since the implementation of localized peace engagement initiatives in Samar and Leyte. According to the report, 4 NPA surrendered in Samar Island, while 2 surrendered in Leyte Island. The said initiative was resulted by the assistance of their families, local government units, and government troops. The series of surrenders reflects the NPA's struggle in hiding with declining resources as community reject their presence, causing anxiety and discomfort. Brigadier General Noel Vestuia, the brigade commander of the 802nd Infantry Brigade, also emphasized the importance of families, relatives, and LGUs in convincing NPA to abandon armed struggle and integrate into mainstream society for nation building.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Bringing us the latest insights from the scene, we have our correspondent Beth. Let us hear the details about COMELEC and 14th CMO Battalion conduct successfully the voter registration drive.
The Commission on Election Cebu Provincial Office, together with the 4th and Civil Military Operations Katipunan Battalion, organized a vote registration drive at the battalion's headquarters recently. This initiative aimed to facilitate voters' registration for military personnel, ensuring their ability to participate in the upcoming elections. Soldiers from 14th CMO Battalion actively engage in the registration processes with the assistance of COMELEC officials from Cebu City. The joint endeavors highlighted the dedication of both agencies to uphold individual rights and promote government involvement in the democratic process. This is Beth Daniete reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Beth Daniete.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Deputy Majority Leader Erwin Tulfo has filed resolution seeking increased patrols over Philippine waters following the sighting of another Chinese research vessel near the eastern coast. According to the House Resolution number 1707, it emphasized the need for the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Coast Guard to conduct enhanced routinary patrols and maritime surveillance in the eastern seaboard. Tulfo also warned the lawmakers that Chinese vessels are loitering in areas like Benham Rai exercise and Catanduanes, signaling the potential occupation of the eastern part of the country. It can be recalled that last April 28, a research vessel carrying Chinese flag was reported near the Viga Catanduanes.
DWDD National News.
For national news, the Commission on Elections is working on the implementation of nationwide mall voting and early voting hours for vulnerable sectors in the May 2025 midterm elections. According to COMELEC Chairperson George Garcia, the said move aims to protect them from the extreme heat. On the other hand, Garcia clarified that those belonging to the vulnerable sector can still choose to vote on election day. Furthermore, the COMELEC chair said the adoption of mall voting will be decided upon by the majority of the voters in affected barangays.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Now let's hear from our reporter on the ground for more updates about 11th ID concludes Aikido instructors refresher training. Go on for the details, Jim Boy.
The 11th Infantry Alakdan Division Rapid at the Advanced Aikido Instructor Refresher and Evaluation Training at Camp Teodolfo Bautista, Jolo, Sulu. 36 participants honed their Aikido skill from March 12 to May 6, mastering techniques under Lieutenant Colonel Franco F. Bailon's guidance. The events also feature a 10-minute silent drill, demonstration, and certificate awarding, attended by division officials. Aikido instructor Mr. Primo F. Arbon Jr. III expressed gratitude while 11 ID and Joint Task Force Orion Commander Major General Ignatius N. Patrimonio commended participant dedication and urged them to share knowledge. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Social Welfare Development has tied up with 903 service providers nationwide to help individuals in crisis situations. Assistant Secretary for Disaster Response Management Group Irene Dumlao said the service providers include hospitals, medical centers, dialysis centers, diagnostic clinics, pharmaceutical companies, medical devices companies, and funeral parlors. According to Dumlao, the said cooperation aims to expand the services and benefits under the agency's Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situation program. Under this partnership, service providers agreed to recognize the duly approved and authenticated guarantee letter from the DSWD to cover the cost of hospitalizations, laboratory exams, medicines, and assistive devices requests by the said clients.
DWDD National
Philippine
News.
National Police Chief General Romel Francisco Marbil hasn't released a directive to account police personnel with visible tattoos. In his command visit the National Capital Region Police Office headquarters at Camp Bagondiwa in Taguig City, Marbil emphasized he does not want tattooed cops to experience discrimination. He also reiterated that the policy was suspended due to financial and health issues, and the PNP will make memorandum to properly manage the situation. The PNP chief also noted that PNP is civilian in character, so they have sought guidance from the Civil Service Commission regarding the matter.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
And we have a report coming in from Mike about Eastern Mindanao Reservists conclude hiniwasang pagbansay joint training exercise. Go on for the details, Mike.
Yes, Rofh, good afternoon. 276 Reserve Force members from Eastern Mindanao concluded a 3-day joint training exercise, hiniusang pagbansay at Camp Kibaritan, Bukidnon. The said activity aimed to enhance readiness levels and to promote interoperability between reserve and regular forces. The exercise, attended by units from various defense centers, featuring lectures and drills focused on soldiering techniques, humanitarian response, and command integration. Colonel Ted B. Dumusmog, representing Major General Joel Alejandro S. Naknak, commanded participants, emphasizing the exercise role in strengthening reserve forces and national defense. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Mike.
DWDD National News.
Our time is already 12:14 in the afternoon, and you are still tuning at AFP Radio Facebook page DWDD. And for our announcement, join us in celebrating the 126th Philippine Independence Day with music, song, and dance, featuring the bands and performers from various uniformed services. Witness a showcase of talent in music, singing and dancing from the modern-day heroes. Let us come together to honor the Filipinos who fought for the nation's independence at Musicalayan 2024 on June 7 live at the Rizal Park Open Auditorium. See you there.
DWDD National News.
For other news, the Department of Agriculture assured that all agricultural damage reports on the ground due to the El Nino phenomenon undergo thorough verification before being released to the public. Agriculture Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa said there is the underreporting and all damage assessments given to the agency are being released after careful validation. The DA officials made the statement after former Agriculture Chief Leonardo Montemayor relayed a report that supposedly showed an expected decline of about 30% in sugar production in Negros Occidental. Meanwhile, de Mesa said the department is yet to verify the report on sugarcane plantations, explaining that even the recent damage report for the end of April was carefully validated to avoid misinformation.
DWDD National News.
The Japanese government expressed eagerness to strengthen cooperation with the Philippines toward a sustainable agro-food system in both countries. This was during the courtesy call of Ambassador Endo Kazuya to Department of Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel to discuss agricultural relations. In the said meeting, Kazuya extended Japanese support for the Philippine agriculture sector. Meanwhile, Laurel expressed gratitude to Japan's cooperation in agriculture-related areas and showed his enthusiasm for developing sustainable agriculture and promoting the agricultural trade between the two nations.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
For other updates, let us hear the details about 94th IB engages CPP and PA, seizes firearms in Negros Occidental. Go on for the details, Angel.
As Rofh, the 94th Infantry Mandirigma Battalion of the Philippine Army engaged members of the New People's Army and seized high-powered firearms in Cabangcalan City, Negros Occidental recently. According to report, two clashes lasted 10 and 5 minutes respectively, resulting in rebels' dispersal. Moreover, 4 assault rifles, M16 rifle, one 5.56mm carbine, 2 rifle grenades and ammunitions were confiscated. On the other hand, 3rd Infantry Spearhead Division Commander Major General Marian Suzon urged rebels to surrender, emphasizing peace benefits and warning against prolonged conflict. This is Angel Cruz Kamamot reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Angel.
DWDD National
In
News.
other developments, the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation has stretched its Z benefit package for breast cancer patients to 1.4 million pesos. The state insurer announced that the enhanced Z benefit package now covers stages 0 to 4 of breast cancer and has expanded eligibility qualifications of members who can avail, including patients that are already undergoing the treatment for the said illness. PhilHealth President and Chief Executive Officer Emmanuel Ledesma Jr. stressed that the significant leap of the said package for breast cancer is proof of their commitment to providing responsive benefits to fellow Filipinos. Ledesma added that the said program offers a holistic approach to breast cancer treatment since it covers diagnostic tests, breast cancer management, up to surveillance or assessment for early signs of relapse after the surgery.
DWDD National News.
Senator Mark Villar urged the local government units to implement preventive measures to protect workers from excessive heat citing the accidents and deaths among construction workers and traffic enforcers due to hot weather. Villar made the call after the Department of Health reported 77 heat-related illness and 7 deaths since January due to the abnormally high heat index. The senator recommended the LGUs to have adjustments in working hours, work attire, and rotational shifts to minimize workers' exposure to the sun. He also suggested to increase the presence of local medical personnel around areas of high foot traffic during the peak periods of heat.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Let us hear more update outside our station. Let us hear from Mars about authorities convict female ASG member for terrorism financing.
Good afternoon, Rofh. A female member of the Abu Sayyaf group has been convicted by a Zamboanga City Regional Trial Court after pleading guilty to violation of Republic Act No. 10168, the Terrorism Financing Prevention and Suppression Act of 2012. According to report, Norquisa Omar Asnalul was found guilty as an accessory in the 3 counts of violation and sentenced to prison terms ranging from 4 months and 1 day up to 1 year, 7 months and 10 days for each count. She was also ordered to pay a fine of 100,000 pesos for each count. Department of Justice Secretary Sus Crispin Rimula praised the prosecution handling of the case, emphasizing the government determination not to yield to unlawful demands from terrorist group. This is Mars reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Mars.
DWDD National News.
Moving on to another story, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, through its Water Resources Management Office, issued an order to general managers of public and private golf courses in Metro Manila to conserve water. The said directive covers general managers of Camp Aguinaldo Golf, Veterans Golf, Army Kagitingan Golf, Villamar Golf, Club Intramuros, Philippine Navy Golf, Wakwak Golf, Manila Golf, also the Valley Golf, Sun Valley Golf, and Alabang Golf, the Forest Hill Golf, and East Ridge Golf. As stated in its Bulletin 004 released yesterday, all golf courses in NCR shall observe proper water conservation measures in irrigating fairways and greens as well as in clubhouse operations. Meanwhile, the DWRMO said El Nino conditions still prevail over the country and drought conditions will likely persist in May and June 2024.
DWDD National News.
Senator Grace Poe will push for the passage the measure to create a Department of Water Resources before the adjournment of the 19th Congress in 2025. Poe announced the plan as she convened the Senate Committee on Public Services for its first hearing on the measure. According to the senator, the establishment of the DWR will enable the national government to effectively manage the country's 421 river basins, 59 natural lakes, 100,000 hectares of freshwater swamps, 50,000 square kilometers of groundwater reservoir, and 2,400 mm of average rainfall throughout the year. It can be recalled that the creation of the said department is one of the priority measures mentioned by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in his previous State of the Nation address.
DWDD National News.
The National Food Authority stressed that the proposed amendment in the rice tariffication law authorizing the agency to sell cheaper rice in times of emergencies may help curb the operations of unscrupulous traders. NFA Officer in Charge Larry Lacson released a statement following the approval of the House of Representatives Committee on Agriculture and Food of the proposed modifications of the RTL, which President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. certified as urgent. Lacson said if the RTL amendment will indicate that the government can intervene in cases of emergency or unusual spikes of market prices, it will be a huge hindrance to traders who are planning to take the advantage. In regard to this, the official said the NFA is very much willing to adhere to whatever future decisions the President might make regarding the agency, considering that its current function is limited to national buffer stocking.
DWDD DWD, Armed Forces News.
That's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time and same station. Again, this is Rofh Suzon for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP.